Hey, it's Brian.
Hey, it's Barry.
Hey, it's Nate. And welcome to the Collecti-Bros podcast. Alright guys, to start off, we invite you to follow us on social media. We are Collecti-Bros Pod on all platforms. We are primarily on TikTok, but we own everything. Also, please feel free to check out the Discord. The link is in the episode description. I am Spider-Man on there.
I'm LeBerry.
And I'm Eat Me, I'm a Danish.
Check it out guys, it's a lot of fun. Today's topic, we are going to be discussing how games you played as a child influence your collecting habits now, or if they even have an influence.
Whenever you're ready.
Before we jump into this episode, guys, let's do plays and pickups. Nate, what have you been playing and or picked up?
So currently playing NBA 2K22. Obviously that's a 2-year-old game at this point, but they're shutting down the servers, so I'm trying to get as much achievements as possible in that. That's the first year they really went like Evil Empire, where it got very predatory. I don't play the mode normally. I only play it when they shut down the servers, and I remember why, because I'm having a miserable time. But in between that, I have Witcher 3 installed, so I will be starting that hopefully after we're done recording tonight. I'll be playing it hopefully, maybe tomorrow morning. But I did unfortunately kind of pick up a flop in this time around. Barry's been playing Dragon Age Inquisition.
I'm not.
Was playing it last time we talked about it. It's like, you know what? I don't have the Game of the Year edition. I'm going to go buy that. So I was like, I'm going to go buy the Game of the Year edition so I can have all this DLC on disc. It's not on disc.
Yeah.
I got a label variant, I guess, for $2. But that was the only flop I really bought. Other than that, we did all receive our Spider-Man 2 collector's editions.
We didn't do an unboxing. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault.
Life happens, y'all.
Blame scheduling.
I haven't played Miles. I finished the first Spider-Man, so that's going to be a while before I play it. But
I installed it. I haven't touched it.
Barry's got the statue open. It looks beautiful. I picked up Digimon All-Star Rumble on 360 for extremely cheap. It's not one you see a whole lot on 360, so happy to add that to my collection. Harvest Moon Tale of Two Towns on Nintendo DS was a pickup. It was $4.99. I know it's a 3DS version, but
Nate sounded like me.
I know.
Digimon and Harvest Moon?
I know. It's inspired me, bro. My brother picked me up a Call of Duty Vanguard. It's new for like $7 on Xbox One. It's like the only Call of Duty game we didn't have, so...
And that's where I fall off.
Yeah, there we go. One I've been looking for because they're releasing a Series X version and the achievements are kind of at an unknown state for this game. Hunt Showdown. I ordered mine like a month and a half ago. I finally got it in the mail.
Yay.
Did get 2 import Saturn games this time around. I am going to butcher this one, but it's a horror game. It's called Nanatsu no Hikan. It was $3 and it looked cool. It's on 3 Saturn discs.
Christ.
And then I also picked up a Z Gundam Saturn game that's exclusive to Japan. Acquired 2 Switch games, which I've not bought a Switch game in a long time, but I finally picked up Animal Crossing New Horizons and a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet double pack. Last on the list, GameStop has a pretty decent sale. If there's $5 games, like they're new titles. I know it's GameStop new, but I got Evil Dead for $5. Can't beat that, so pretty long list of pickups for me this time, but
That's pretty good. I'm almost the antithesis.
Twin, how about you? What have you been playing lately?
Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 came out. That's what I put most of my time into. I see the complaints. I hear them. I also think I've had more fun with it than most people. The campaign's not great, but it's also not the biggest piece of shit I've ever played in my life.
We played some real shitters in our day, so like...
I will say it's probably the worst COD campaign, but, I mean, if you look at the rest of the series, it's renowned for its campaign. Some of the best single-player missions of all time have come out of COD. I appreciate what they were going for with the open missions. It's just the execution's not there. It's basically just reused assets from the original Warzone map. And that's...
Woof.
There's
$1 franchise.
The DNA of COD's missing is a thing. Like, there's no big bombastic set pieces, and that's what makes the Call of Duty campaigns awesome. Like, it's missing the essence of COD. It's literally just like you drop in sometimes, like it's Warzone. Do these objectives, and then you're out, and it's the next character. Like, there's no soul to it.
$70 reused asset expansion.
That's my problem.
I will say that.
$70.
The zombie mode is a freaking blast. Like, I've played zombies more than anything with Sherry, and Sherry like hates zombies. Like she's like, I don't want to do it, but literally started playing it, and she's like, this is so fun. It's DMZ with zombies, and traditional zombie people, I can see why they hate it because it's not round based. A lot of power ups are gone, but if you like DMZ, it's with zombies. It's a blast, especially with 2 or 3 people. The multiplayer, if you love traditional like 360 PS3 era Call of Duties, you're gonna like this one. It takes the best things from Modern Warfare 2 Remake and the best things from the classic Call of Duty, such as the fast movement. Not necessarily Black Ops sliding, but there's your tac sprint, your slide cancel.
But you're saying if you enjoyed the first Modern Warfare, you'll like this?
It plays much more like that.
I've heard the exact opposite.
I think it plays much more like that than it does Modern Warfare 2. I mean, it's like it's a
everybody
combination
says
of both.
this is like blasphemy to compare it to the originals.
There's a lot of things that feel like it. I mean, mainly because you're on the same maps, but as of like anniversary game, the multiplayer wise, knocked it out of the park. I think it's the best of like traditional Call of Duty with like the modern things that some people don't like that some people do. Overall, I'm having fun with it, and that's what really matters. $70, we can talk about that all day, but it's like I'm gonna buy Call of Duty. Seldom does it go on sale.
Can we talk about how it's going to make me install the entire Modern Warfare 3 bullshit just to play free Warzone?
Well,
and I have
sucks.
80, 90 gigs in my hard drive that is unusable.
It basically turned Modern Warfare 2 into a launcher. So like you have to have it installed to even play 3. And when you buy the disc, because I bought the disc from GameStop because I wanted the Steelbook, got a poster too, sweet pickups. But I know I hate myself. But the disc only has like 56 meg on it.
It's a license.
It's a 187 gig download.
Yeah, I had to download 3 to play 2 in Warzone.
Yep.
So now I have just a chunk of my hard drive that's taken up by 3.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
I installed that so fast.
I have a theory that all these games, because like 2K, I'm playing 22 right now, and it's 160 something gig. My theory is that these games that are like have microtransactions want to take up your whole hard drive, so you can't install other games, so you can like have to buy shit and keep playing that game. Like,
don't laugh. Don't get
there's no.
I mean,
you can't convince me that game's 100 something 200 gig.
In the long scheme of things, like a 200, like Baldur's Gate 3 is a big fucking game.
Absolutely.
A 200 gigabyte game like really isn't anything to me, but I have maybe 2 to 3 games installed at one time. I don't sit there and I don't know why people. I don't know. Why do you guys need like 20 things installed on your Xbox? You're not playing 20 games at one time. That just doesn't make any sense to me. Like
server
in
closers.
1 week, how many different games are you gonna play?
That's the only reason why those server closers.
Yeah, but even your server closure games are like what?
Depends.
They're not all like 30, 40 live service games.
Right.
You're going to install a couple of them that are probably a couple gigs and be done with it in a couple hours. So it's not like, I don't know. It's like, why would I need 5 AAA title games installed? I'm not going to play all 5 of those in 1 week.
As a sports fan, I could say that's 4 games right there if I'm playing through the season. So hockey, baseball.
We live in 2023. Your internet can download things very quickly. Right. So just wait an hour.
If you're on a wire, it's like 30 minutes, 20 minutes.
I don't know.
I hear you. It's still crazy.
What I'm upset about is I already had Modern Warfare 2 and whatnot installed, and so when I got the update, it made me download 130 gigs, and then the next day I came to play it, and I had to wait another hour to download the Modern Warfare 2 packs because they didn't come with it, and then I had to download Wars, and I was like, this is ridiculous. I'm not doing this shit no more.
Yeah. I uninstalled all the Modern Warfare 2 stuff, but I'm curious if like I throw the disc in, what happens if it tries to like throw me into a Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer? Because if you look at the individual installs, it's not like MW2, MW3. It's literally like multiplayer campaign.
You know what's funny is I remember when Battlefield 5 came out and like somebody got it for me for PC because we were gonna play it on PC. I played it once and then never went back because I just don't like Battlefield. But I remember it was like, oh my gosh, it's a 5 gig install, and I was like, yeah, I did it in like 8 seconds, and they're like, whoa, and now we're at 200.
Yeah,
that wasn't even that long ago.
Yeah,
Battlefield 5 was more than 5 gigs, right?
Yeah,
because mine was like a 5 to 8 gig install, like when I first installed it.
That's crazy, because I'm pretty sure it was like 50, 60 on Xbox.
I don't know,
but I bet vanilla when it came out because there was no content.
That's true. You know what? That's a good point. That's a good point.
But yeah, the only other thing I've been playing is Anvil Vault Breaker.
Oh yeah, we've been playing that,
Yeah, it's a roguelike twin stick shooter. It's pretty fun. Servers are closing, so enjoy it while you can in the month of December. But fun game. It's a roguelike. You know what you're getting into at that point. Co-op, that's about all I can say for that. As far as pickups, I didn't grab a ton. Like I said, MW3, I grabbed WarioWare, Smooth Moves, and I have not played it yet.
Damn, I was going to ask you.
Dude, I'm so upset. Why haven't I played it though?
I want to play it.
So, got it set up. Like, Sherry, we're going to play it co-op. We always play the Wario games co-op. So, I'm like, hey, I think you can use 2 sets of Joy-Cons. Like, let me go get my Switch. Go get it. Joy-Cons are dead. So, I'm like, whatever, we'll charge it tomorrow. And then I slept in like a fat piece of shit.
Wait. Wait a sec. Okay, where were your Joy-Cons? Attached to your Switch?
So...
Well, hold on. No, answer the question.
Yeah.
There's no so.
Yes.
They were attached to your Switch.
Yes.
And was your Switch not docked?
It was not docked.
Why?
Because it was next to the bed from the previous podcast episode.
Look over there. Look at that.
Like 2 months ago.
So it was next to your bed for 2 months?
I mean, not 2 months. However long was it? Maybe a month.
So it was off the dock.
Yeah.
Long enough for your Joy-Cons to be completely dead.
Oh, for the Switch to be dead. Yeah.
Oh. I can't handle you sometimes.
Yeah.
Brian, the man insistent on having all of his consoles hooked up at all times. He can't keep his Switch charged.
Well, to be fair, the Switch upstairs. So, like, Sherry's got my original model. It was charged.
I wonder why.
Because it was on the dock.
Because it was
Sherry's.
Sherry's.
She's playing Pikmin. Yeah, she's been playing Pikmin.
That's so funny.
But yeah, she uses a Pro controller, so the Joy-Cons were fine, of course.
I'm sorry I'm ragging on you. It's just funny.
I understand. Don't get it twisted. Like, I get my grander's delusion. I've got problems. Anyways, what else did I pick up?
Get him while he's weak, Nate. Let's get him.
Y'all can get me. Like Nate, found a Call of Duty Vanguard for dirt cheap. It was literally $6 brand new. Like, only Call of Duty I didn't have. Only one I've never really played. Played the beta and I was like, this isn't for me. But I do want to play the campaign, so I'll get around to it someday. And then my last pickup, nothing used, only new games. I got the Fortnite Transformers pack because it has the classic Megatron, Bumblebee.
I thought you already bought that in game.
No, I wanted the disc, so I bought the disc.
So you already have the skins though?
No. Because these are exclusive to this disc.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
And then the coolest skin on there is like a battle bus. They made a Transformer. Like, he's pretty
That's
sick.
actually pretty
so
sick.
I was
Yeah,
like,
that's pretty
okay.
cool.
Because first I'm like, who is this? Like, who did they bastardize? Michael Bay? Like, what'd you do? And I was like, oh, it's the battle bus. Like, that's pretty cool. So, yeah. That's all my pickups. What about you, Barry?
Well, I'm just falling
Yeah, bro.
apart. Yeah.
What'd I say?
No, I don't have time to play games and I don't have money to buy games. So,
I hear
like, when you're going to school and having to pay college money. So I got Tiny Tina's Wonderland for $20. The whatever fancy, whatever, next level edition, I think. I don't know what it's called. I didn't even put it in my app yet. Picked up that because Best Buy, it was like $20. I don't know, man. The Black Friday deals this year,
Garbage.
like, lacking.
Garbage.
There's only one game I want that I didn't get already. So, like, I'm looking
What's
for
that?
Saints Row for $5.
Like, I remember Best Buy used to have, like, the best
Yes,
Black Friday
yes.
deals, and they had virtually nothing. Switch never goes on sale regardless, so, like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I used to buy most of my Switch games on Black Friday because it'd be $10 off or whatever.
Mhm.
But now it's like same price. It's not even
Yeah.
on sale.
It'll be, like, $5 off.
Maybe.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we're not doing it on one day. We're doing it for a whole week now.
It's
And
like
I'm
2
like,
months
well,
now.
I'm just like, well, your whole week sale sucks.
Yeah.
I'm not buying anything.
No.
This is boo-boo. I did pre-order. I
Oh.
said this in the Discord, but like Falcom just needs to stop. Because they're finally localizing all this stuff that like we never got, and I've already bought I think 3 of them this year and gotten 3. Maybe I ordered
Got a lot.
2, got 3. I can't remember. No, I've gotten 3 of them this year already, but they have Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. I ended up pre-ordering that and pre-ordered the physical Baldur's Gate.
Oh, yeah, I got one of those
Yeah,
too.
Nate got one of those too.
Yeah, I got one.
I mean, other than like Final Fantasy Rebirth. So I have pre-orders, I guess,
Yeah.
but like I'm just not buying games.
If only we
I'm-
had a back catalog we could play games with.
I'm buying Bissels. Like that's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
I got a Bissell. Cost me a lot of money. I do want to buy my next actual goal. If I didn't get in a car accident, have to pay that. Like it's just a bunch of stuff all at one time. Wasn't my fault. It was a hit and run. Don't blame me.
Can't say too much because the insurance company's listening. but,
Fine
like,
driver. Yeah, the insurance company's listening to this
Fans of the
podcast.
show.
You just have a deductible even though you didn't do anything wrong. It's fine.
Scam.
Yeah, I want to get one of the new OLED Steam Decks.
Yeah.
So I was already planning on getting a Steam Deck, and then they announced that OLEDs are basically the same price as the old ones, and the old ones are dropping down to a lower price. So hopefully by early next year, I'll have a massive emulator machine.
Nice. I want to get one too.
Yeah, so
I
that's
heard
the
like
goal.
the input lag's improved and like it runs something slightly better, so it's cool.
For the OLEDs,
Yeah.
I saw the battery's supposed to be
Yeah, the
better.
battery, yep, that's what it was.
The screen is slightly larger.
Nice.
It's got better cooling on it.
Yep.
Something else. I can't remember. I honestly didn't look through the whole specs. I was just like, I was going to get one already. I might as well get the OLED. Like,
It's pretty sick.
it's fine. So, but I mean, as far as playing, like, I haven't been playing anything because I'm just so busy. So I can't really dedicate time to actually playing something. But in my free time, I've been playing Valheim. I gave Valheim a chance again. I couldn't get into it at first, but it's like I don't know exactly what kind of game it is. It's like a resource gathering survival game with like an online server that a bunch of people can do. I'm just playing solo, so like nobody messes up my stuff, but it gives me the time to like play for an hour or two and do a little bit and then just get off and not feel like I have to hit a certain goal or hit a certain save point before I need to stop playing. So I think today, like, I played for a little bit and I ended up beating a boss, but like yesterday I played for an hour or so maybe and was like, oh, I'll just chop up enough wood to like lay a floor for the next house I'm going to build, and then I just got off. So I don't have to like dedicate like an actual mental game plan or like what I need to do in the game. I can just get on and gather some stones and
Twigs
and whatever and collect my honey from my beehive. Like, I don't know. So that's all I've been doing. I've got 3 weeks left and then I've got some free time.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
3 weeks left of
We're
horrors. And then I'll have some free time.
I'm like non-existent the next 3 weeks. It's great.
I'm also non-existent for the next 3 weeks.
Yeah,
It's fine.
it's not a contest.
But then it's Christmas, and then you're obligated to go do family things that I don't really want to do. So I don't really know about free time, but I won't be in school for 9 hours a day. So,
Shit.
Oof.
Yeah, that's all. I got a Bissell. That's my gaming pickup.
There you go. Counts.
Real life power wash simulator, I guess. I don't
Checks
know.
out. Checks out. Keeps your gaming room clean. You're good.
It's all them crumbs from me and sitting on the couch. The cat dandruff.
I totally forgot to say it, but I've been playing Final Fantasy 16 still.
Are you still playing it?
Yeah.
We got a little bit of time.
Yeah, I've just...
Yeah.
I wanted to start like...
I didn't know you actually started it. I just
Yeah,
know you
no.
installed it.
Yeah, I started it. I'm not very far at all, but it's cool. Like, I dig it. It's definitely
What part are you at?
literally like right after the first mission, they send you out of the fortress.
Oh,
So-
so you
so
even
you're
got
young?
like the...
Yeah.
Damn.
You-
You even got the...
I feel like
You're
I'm
not even out of the
I
demo.
almost spoiled
I'm
like
saying-
something crazy.
You're not even
for
out of
you.
the demo.
I hope I'm like out of the tutorial.
You're
No,
not.
you got like
Still a
another
tutorial.
2
no,
hours.
you're not even close.
It's a long tutorial, but the combat's really cool and it's
Amazing.
visually impressive.
Did you get to the Marlboro yet? The big green,
The boss thing in the demo.
the big
I
green
never played
thing
the
with
demo.
the
I
mean,
tentacles.
I didn't
Okay, he's got.
I
He's a
fought him.
big.
I fought him.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Fought
fought
him?
Alright,
Okay.
alright.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you at least got to that.
Okay.
No, it's cool. I dig it.
So you actually did get to see the combat a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Well.
For now.
I keep picking at it. It's one of those things like I want more time, and obviously it picked the worst time of the year to start playing it. But I didn't want to like play it before the end of the year because after peak, it's probably what I'm gonna focus on.
By the time you finish it, maybe that DLC will be out. No. But he
My
finishes
thing's
it.
like after I get out of
Oh,
peak
okay,
season
yeah,
at
that's a
work,
good point. That's true.
I'll be able to dedicate some time to it because like I do want to beat it for the end of the year because I feel like it's one of the bigger releases for the year that I own. So, and I know you guys both loved it, so
Absolutely.
I want to play it more. But yeah, I've been playing that.
I feel like it's a crime that it did get nominated for.
I mean, I had my PS5 on already after playing Spider-Man, so I was like,
Oh
why not
yeah,
start
Game of
Final
the.
Fantasy?
Okay, we've got a couple minutes. We can talk about
Do
the
we
Game
have- oh, God.
Awards.
Time to get
The
toxic,
Game Award
boys.
nominations. All utter trash. All of it's garbage. I'm only here for the trailers. The categories are stupid. All the categories are just bad. Bad categories all around. Horrible. How did Destiny 2 get nominated for Best Community?
It's at an all-time low right
Destiny
now.
2.
It's at an all-time low right now for community numbers.
Destiny's
Because
awful.
the last DLC was trash.
Oh my god.
I do have
It is
one
a
note.
joke.
I want to talk about the Game Awards for a moment that everyone acts like it's a super prestigious thing. Do you guys know Madden 2005 won a Game of the Year from the same?
I mean, Madden 2005 was lit.
That was
bro.
before the current TGA, though.
Yeah.
It's for old
So that it
Geoff.
evolved into, isn't it?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't think it's the same thing.
that sucks.
I don't know. I just know this one's elevated because there's no E3, so that's what they just consider
yeah,
E3
it's
now.
basically turned into that, which
I mean, they've got the most money into making it there's so many companies, websites, whatever out there that give Game of the Year to X amount of things. You see those games that come out next year that have like Game of the Year with like 5 different things on it.
I mean, here's the real problem. There's too many people focus on what's the best game of the year. We have some major candidates for worst game of the year this year that we are not touching.
Okay, I want the Razzies, but for games.
I want to put the
Be fired.
conspiracy out there. That
I said I wanted the Razzies for games, and a friend told me that's just YouTube, and I was like, well,
We need
you
to
know
do it.
what? You're not wrong, but like I want
we need to do it.
a real on stage physical trophies for worst games of
Let's do
the
it.
year.
can you imagine like having to go up there and get that award back? So what the hell happened?
I want a
guys?
Halle Berry. I want a Halle Berry speech for
Yes.
Catwoman.
Yes.
Yes.
That's what I want.
Yes. Dude, we need to make this happen.
I want him to go up there,
Maybe with the
give
Patreon
it to
money.
me with Golem. Yeah,
We
I'm
can
gonna start a
fund the
Patreon
Razzies.
just to do this.
Oh,
It's gonna be called the Vazzies.
Really quick, can we get this conspiracy theory out there? The same publisher released the 3 best worst games of the year.
Did you see
Yeah,
the
that's what they do.
the best indie game? Only
Well,
one of
that's-
them is an actual independent studio.
Yeah, just literally.
I mean, they must have watched our TikTok.
Sea of Stars, and
Yeah.
even then, Sea of Stars is given a Microsoft deal to be on
Yep.
Game Pass. So it's not even like that's what I mean. Is like it's all just garbage.
They saw our
I
TikTok calling Nintendo an indie studio and
just
got
want
pissed.
people to enjoy what they enjoy. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm sure it's a huge get for some of these developers that like get nominated. I'm sure there's bonuses and stuff for some of them. Like, but it shouldn't shift people's views on a game. Like, oh, this is a better game because it won Game of the Year and stuff. Like, okay, chill out.
We
man.
all know Baldur's Gate's gonna sweep everything.
Like-
That's what's gonna happen.
I mean, it probably should, but
Baldur's
like,
Gate's gonna sweep everything, and that's also the problem. Is like if something is put in the Game of the Year category, because what is it this year? Baldur's Gate, Alan Wake, Resident Evil,
Spider-Man 2 got
Spider-Man,
mine.
yeah, Spider-Man 2 in there. Oh, Mario
Yeah.
is in there. And like basically if you have a game that's in that category and wins it, they are guaranteed to win every single other category that they are in. It happened with Last of Us 2. They swept everything. It was like, oh, Last of Us 2 got best innovation for accessibility, and we were like, for what? What did you guys do? And then, here's a game over here that actually made it possible for people who are, paraplegics to play games, and like Last of Us beat that one for accessibility.
Yeah.
So it's just stupid. I think it's the stupidest thing on this planet. I just want the trailers. If we don't see Dreadwolf at this, it's not going to happen.
Shh.
Supposedly, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to have a trailer.
Yeah. Well, Rockstar said it was going to, so it's going to.
So
I don't know if
It's
it's
in
there.
December.
but it
we're
said
going to
beginning of
see if
December.
anybody else makes it up on stage this year.
Talks about
Patch
Bill Clinton
security,
or whatever.
I don't
Sure.
know.
That's like, you know what? That's the one thing to look forward to in the game where who bum rushes the stage and
Yeah,
for
who
what
bum
reason.
rushes the stage this year?
I hope it's Kanye.
And a Master Chief suit.
Yeah.
Starfield! The Baldur's Gate 3, you did great, but we'll make it to my boy Starfield.
That would be dope.
Oh, man.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, I don't know. If you enjoy the game words, keep enjoying them. I don't want to like poop on your parade, but it's not for me. I feel it the same way about the Oscars. Like,
I mean,
Nope.
I'm part of the problem, though, because I still watch it to see the trailers.
I watch y'all's group texts blow up, and I think, oh crap, then I turn on YouTube to watch the trailer. That's what I literally have done.
I want to watch it in person, though. I don't want to get... I
Yeah.
like watching it and being surprised
It's
by
fun.
stuff.
That was the best part of E3, is like watching the reveals live and be like, holy shit.
So you got the Game Awards on, and you play something else on your other screen, and then you mute the Game Awards, and then when you see the trailers come up, you unmute it and switch over and watch those. That's just how it is. And then you'll just see like, oh well, here's the award to best RPG goes to this one. Let's see what the fan choice was, and it's always different. The fan choice is always different than what something else got picked.
I like when
So-
they have the awards that just like they want to make an award, but they don't care enough to give it a time slot, and they just go through like 10 in a row, just like rapid fire.
Do you
Like,
know how
those
many?
devs gotta feel
Do you
good.
know how many game genres we have that aren't
Represented
categories.
at all, yeah.
But we have like 10 categories for esports.
Yeah.
Why? Where's the best horror game? We don't even have a genre for that.
Nope.
Why do we need best esports player, best esports team, best esports coach, best esports tournament, best esports event, but not tournament, but not event at the same
Because
time?
esports is big business, right?
Up and coming streamer that
Been
I've
told
never
that for
heard
10
of.
years.
Best whatever XYZ, blah, blah, blah. Nothing about actual games.
Sounds about right.
Yeah.
Perfectly summed up the industry right now.
You guys can
No.
tell we're really into the Game Awards.
Yeah, I'm really into it.
There's some like one person listening that's like loves the Game Awards. We're just over here shitting on it, and they're like, "I'm done with this podcast."
We don't need you. Bye.
It's your insurance agent. So let's get into it.
Yes, please.
Bam.
This whole idea for this episode sparked when I was talking to Nate. We used to play one of the putt-putt games. If you guys are not familiar with putt-putt, he is a purple car who goes on adventures, and it's like an educational point-and-click game,
I
right?
thought it was a golf game the whole time.
Right? 'Cause
Oh,
it's called
no.
putt-putt, right? Yeah.
Yeah, car.
Oh, yeah.
Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's wild.
Ridiculously ridiculous.
But Humongous Entertainment was the company that developed the putt-putt games. They had a compilation come out on Switch, and I picked it up a while back, and I was like, I'm going to dust this thing off and play the
Wait,
putt.
he's a car?
Yeah.
Yes.
Or a person driving a car?
Oh, he is a car.
He is the car.
But he's
he's a
purple.
Purple
Yes.
car.
Show you a picture of Putt Putt.
Okay.
yeah. We'll throw him in the Discord so y'all can bask in his glory. But yeah, the Humongous Entertainment Collection came out on Switch, and I was like, Nate, what game did we play specifically? Because there's like 3 or 4 of them, I think. And we couldn't remember. And then we started like pulling up videos and talking about it. And we kind of decided that, yeah, maybe we played all of them, but I only remember having one of them. But, you know, P-brained, I've had, you know, contact sports. My brains are probably scrambled eggs. But that's what sparked all this. And then thinking about like the games you were forced to play as a child because your parents bought them for you versus what you play now is radically different. Like, it's funny because I don't necessarily go after educational games, but here I am literally going after the game I'm talking about. So it's funny how things come full circle. For me personally, one of the big reasons why I still collect, you know, consoles I grew up with is the nostalgia factor alone. And this is the perfect example is putt-putt. Like, I have no interest in ever playing putt-putt if I didn't have that childhood connection to it. Because, I mean, dude, like, I don't even like, quote, adult point-and-click games. Like Monkey Island, everyone rants and raves about. I have no emotional attachment to the game. I think it's overrated as all hell. But, like, hey, I'll dust off and play putt-putt once in my mid-30s, you know, whatever. But as far as influencing my habits now, clearly I did pick up putt-putt again. But I think there's a fine line where it's like I'm not necessarily going to go after educational games anymore. With, you know, with your odd exception, like the Mario Goes Missing and stuff like that. If I get it for cheap, I have picked those up. But any kind of games you guys were forced to play as a kid, you think you'd pick up now if you haven't already again? What about you, Nate?
Yeah, there's a couple. Mainly like PlayStation demo disc games. There's several other on like my want list I'm actively searching for. I think especially with those, a lot of people had the same experience, and a lot of people played the same demo disc. So there's kind of like a market for those games that were on those. Most of them were like the Adios compilations. I think it was like Fighting Force, Ninja Shadow of Darkness, and like Tomb Raider 3, I believe. But
Medieval was a big one on
Medieval,
there, too.
yeah, absolutely. Everyone knows that Graveyard. Like, we could get through with our eyes closed, but the rest of the game you have to like open your eyes and play it. But that's like the Ninja Shadow of Darkness, like the big one for me. It's been on my want list for a long time. But there are some of the old PC games we had as a kid that like I will actively look for. It's just finding them and the money they cost if I'm willing to spend it. Because with those specifically, they put the price out there because there's only a certain type of people looking for them. And like you're willing to buy it because you have that nostalgia nudge. So it's like it's hard for me to justify like the $40 to $60 for a game that's just going to literally sit on my shelf and I'm not going to play again. Especially like a lot of these, there's Steam GOG versions out there. I bought a couple of those off like Major Striker as an example. I remember playing like countless hours as a child, like the floppy of that game. I found it for $1 on Steam, so I was like, bet I'm probably not going to go out and buy the physical version because like if I ever see it for cheap, sure, but I'm not going to, man. It's a fucking super obscure game. Like, but yeah, especially PlayStation. I think that's like the main one. There was a couple games I did actively go out and buy, so it's not every single game I played as a kid, but like there's several I have mostly memories attached with other people. Like Brian, you were kind enough to give us a childhood copy of Donkey Kong on computers. I remember playing that with Mom, but like specifically my grandma, she helped raise us, and I remember playing the Animaniacs bowling games. My nana loved bowling, dude. Like, she was a Wii bowler goddess, dude. But, like, we played Animaniacs 10 Pin Alley forever before that. I went out, I was like, I gotta find this game. Like, and I finally found one. So
Yeah, I think it's when we rented, right?
yeah, I think so. I think
I
she had it because she was just like, we're bowling, boys. Like,
I don't have a copy. I had to go out and find a copy like a year back or so, because that's another one I was like, oh, I remember playing this as a kid. I'm sure it's dog shit now, but like,
no, it's fire. It's 10 Pin Alley, bro.
Okay.
It's Animaniacs, dude.
Nice.
Come on, man. Pinky in the brain. Like, let's go.
But yeah, that's one I wanted, and I went back and found. I didn't mean to cut you off. Yeah.
No, it's just it though. I think there's several games I have attached with memories with other people that are important in my life that like kind of keeps me close to them in a way. So there's some modern games like that, like Overcooked. I have a great memory of playing that with like Barry and Megan and Kyle. Like, I remember playing this game and be like, this is so fun. Like, I want to own that game. I have great memories attached to it. So mostly with people more than like the game itself.
Say, Barry, specifically with games that you were forced to play because, you know, your parents bought them for you. Do you have any examples of those and how they maybe, like, have you had to go back and find them, or do you already own them?
No, because my parents didn't force me to play games.
Yeah, that's coming out horrible. Sounds really funny when I say it like that, but
I wasn't ever given games because my parents thought I would like it, and I just was nothing I was interested in. Like, my parents bought me things that I was interested in.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't just like, oh, hey, I found this game here. So I don't really have that experience. My childhood was very lonely in games. I didn't know anybody who played games. None of the neighborhood kids played games. Neighborhood kids were like, you know, Yu-Gi-Oh cards and whatnot. I didn't play games with anybody. My brother did, but he was interested in like things that I wasn't. I'm like, I don't even remember what he would play, but when he was old enough to play his own games, he just wanted to play the stuff that I was just like, I don't care about this. I don't know what this is, but I don't care about it. Whatever. So I guess like games that I didn't necessarily choose, it would be stuff that my dad bought. He was like sort of into games, but not really too much. I mean, we had a PlayStation, so we had like, I remember playing, I said this before, Final Fantasy VII, like he bought that for him. He didn't buy it for me, but I just ended up playing it. I think Jet Moto, he bought that one. I don't even know why he bought that game, but whatever. I played it because one of the things was a Mountain Dew.
Oh yeah, it was. I remember
Mountain
that.
Dew one.
Yep.
Tony Hawk. I didn't want Tony Hawk, but he bought it and I ended up playing it. What else did we have? Oh, Metal Gear Solid. He bought Metal Gear Solid and was like really into it, but I just like could not understand how to play the game, so I don't think I ever made it past first level. Because like you had to sneak, and I was like, oh, what is this? Like, this isn't. I don't know.
it was a foreign concept back then. There wasn't a lot of stealth action games back then.
I mean, I sat there and would try and play it because I was like, oh, let's just try this one today. But they didn't buy anything for me that I didn't already want or like wasn't interested in. And I don't remember asking for games specifically. I think I was like, you know, I didn't ask for Pokemon Yellow. I didn't know it was a game. I was too young to know. But like, I was into Digimon. And then, so the Digimon anime, or the animated show, it's sort of an anime, came out in the US before Pokemon did, I believe. And so I watched a lot of that, and then Pokemon came in. And I think my parents saw I was interested in Pokemon, knew there was a game, and that's why I got it. So, and I was into the cards. Like, I was really into trading cards because my dad was really into, like, sports cards. So he wanted me to get into something, and that's what it was trading cards. So it just kind of fell into place. Like, there's a Pokemon game, you're going to get Pokemon.
It's cool.
So, and then every Christmas I would get an iteration of whatever Pokemon game that came out that year.
It's clutch.
Yeah.
So, and that's how I got all my cartridge games. Well, not all of them, because my brother, like, because there's two, so I would get one, my brother would get the other, and then he just eventually didn't care, so now they're mine.
Nice.
So that's just kind of how I all got them.
Hey, that's
clutch.
Best case scenario, bro.
I think the only one I never got was gold. He got silver, I got crystal. And then I think my dad already bought red and blue, but yellow was mine. What was the one after that?
Red and blue.
Ruby and sapphire?
Gold, silver, and then...
Yeah, so
yeah.
I got ruby, my brother got sapphire, and then I got emerald too, I think for my birthday or something. Because I was just more into games, so my parents would always get me like the whatever the special one was, because like my brother didn't care that much, but I think they could tell I was more into like the special collector stuff. So I got the collector special platinum Game Boy Advance, that apparently was limited.
All right.
I don't know
Parents hooked
if
you
it
up,
was
bruh.
still or whatever. I was the one that got the Atomic Purple Game Boy. I was the one that got the third special Pokemon game or whatever. I suppose at the point of Game Boy Advance is when I kind of started picking my own games at that point in time.
Yeah, we had a little different. Like, I think we brought it up previously. My dad was a programmer, and he was like PC Master Race before it was cool. And I remember he used to just shit on consoles, and the way we got our PlayStation, we've told this story before. Like, we got our console by chance. And it's so weird now how like ingrained it was into our heads, like PC. And the fact that I prefer console gaming now is wild to me. I have a Surface tablet, that's my computer. But I still have our childhood computer. I mean, I love the damn thing. It still fires up. I'm sure none of the media we have for it still works. But I have gone back and tried to track down some of these games that I know I played as a kid, but specifically for the PC, it's tough to get them. They take up a lot of space when you find them because they're always big box. If they even come in a box, like the ones we played as early childhood, like I'm talking pre-Windows, it's a disc in a bag. And I remember vividly going to the computer store and literally there'd be like a wall with like corkboard, and there'd just be like sandwich bags with floppies pinned in them with like maybe a shitty label
I
slapped.
have like a printed out screenshot and then like a very brief description.
Maybe you got lucky if you got that printed out screenshot. That was printer paper back then. But so what the hell is a complete in box copy of some of those? Like literally just a disc that someone copied and put on there. A lot of the games Nate and I grew up playing were like that. And yeah, there was some full release ones, and I have a lot of our childhood games still, but a lot of the PC ones are ones I'd love to get, but just difficult, man. And then memory is a big problem too. Like I don't have the best memory. And like for the perfect example, the Public. I don't remember which Public game it was still, and I sit there and mess around with all of them, but they all seem familiar. So it's crazy how your perception of things, that's what we had back then. That's what we had to do. Which, yeah, we played sports and stuff too, but I remember like vividly sitting in the bedroom and being like, oh, it's computer time. Like, I'm going to hang out with Putt again today, but clearly he wasn't that special to me because I don't remember which game I was playing with him. And then, Gus Goes to Cybertown was another one too. I found our childhood copy of that, so I'm happy for that. But yeah, I don't play the same time of games from early childhood. Like you were saying, the first game I asked for, it was PlayStation era. And I remember like just reading, because video game magazines were a thing too. Like I remember we used to get them through the library at school. And that's how I like got a lot of my video game magazines. And I remember seeing like Medal of Honor was like the talk of the town. And it was right after Saving Private Ryan. And Steven Spielberg was attached to it, and it was like, Jurassic Park kid, so I'm all about it. Like, that's the first game I vividly remember wanting. And, it was a hard pill to go to your parents and be like, hey, buy me this video game, because they were expensive back then. And obviously, I'm grateful for everything they got me, but I remember Mom picking that one up for me.
That one came out in 99.
Yeah. Once it became a greatest hit, remember when I saw it was 9? That's how far back my brain goes, 9. Anything past that's spore. But yeah, I remember getting that as a greatest hit, and I think we talked about it in our variants episode, right? Like that was really cool, and I still love Medal of Honor. I've gone back and gotten other ones from the series because of my attachment to it as a child. And I mean, yeah, some of them don't hold up great. Some of them are not great at all. But that first one for me, even like just the spectacle of it, there still hasn't been a lot of games matched to that as far as like scope and having a huge name like Steven Spielberg, for Christ's sake, after Jurassic Park attached to that. Like crazy. But yeah, I've gone back and grabbed some other games from that series, particularly like Underground and, that era of Medal of Honor games, because I got to play the first one as a kid. And I haven't, it's not one I went back and got a black label copy of because I wanted it. Like for me, I'm cool with the greatest hits one. That's the one I played as a kid. So in a weird way, collecting now, it's filling in gaps, sure. If I do see, we've talked about it before, I don't like going on eBay. Obviously, that's the easiest way to find some of these PC games, but that's the hunt of it's what makes it fun for me, man.
I have no desire to go back and get some of those games.
Yeah? Why is that?
Like
Just
none.
Taste change or?
I don't need Jet Moto.
Yeah.
I
hear you.
I don't need Jet Moto. A lot of the games I had as a kid, I still have them. And if I have them and didn't like them, I got rid of them. So
that makes sense.
I mean, there's a couple I remember, like iNinja. I remember going, because we went to Game Crazy.
Was that the Hollywood video one?
Yeah, the Hollywood video was Game Crazy. So I would go in there and trade games and get, other ones. And I remember walking out with iNinja I went in there and got Final Fantasy VIII when it was the greatest hit. I have a picture of me standing there holding it. Have I shown you guys that
Dude,
picture?
no, that's sick.
I've seen it.
I
Yeah.
have a little picture of like little me holding it, and I'm pretty sure I'm wearing a t-shirt that's got like kid like paint drawings on it or whatever. I think it's like a really bad leaf. It looks like a snake. I don't know. I have that picture somewhere.
That's
and I was
sick.
just like so hyped to get that game.
That's awesome.
And then the Devil May Cry trilogy I got from Game Crazy for like $20. But I don't have a desire to get iNinja again. It was fun, I guess.
iNinja is fun. I'll throw a shout out to iNinja.
I don't think I've ever played it. I'm familiar with it, but
So I mean like I was really big into the 2 Spyro games on the Advance. Okay, I will say Jackie Chan Adventures is I think the only one right now I'm looking for.
like a complete box copy. Or
Like I
still have
want
your cart,
Jackie
right?
Chan Adventures. I was also like Shrek, the Game Boy Advance Shrek game that was the Puss in Boots game. Played the hell out of that one, but like I'm not gonna go back and buy that game.
Yeah.
I just liked Puss in Boots when it came out, and like obviously wanted the game, but I don't really have anything now that I think about it. I think it's just Jackie Chan Adventures, but I don't have anything that I'm just like, oh man, I remember that as a kid. I want that. I probably already have it, or I got rid of it for a good reason. So
Yeah, it's weird because I held on a lot of our childhood stuff, but like Game Boy specifically is the one where I'm like, God damn it, if I want to go back and get this stuff, it's going to be a nightmare. Just because like I was so young. I think that period when I started like realizing, hey, I'm going to hold on to these was probably the PlayStation era. Because I know there's games we rented that we don't have. Like between you and I, Nate, we have most of our childhood games from PlayStation on up. Game Boy's where it starts getting like, I'm trying to think of an original Game Boy game I have from a kid where I have the box and everything. And
So I know specifically, like, because I had a lot of the posters hanging up on my wall in my room.
yeah,
Like, I still have some of the posters. I cannot tell you where the box and manual's at, but like, I have the Captain America and the Avengers poster, which, like, that game complete in box is ungodly expensive. It's one I want because it's Captain America, and I'm obviously still super into Captain America, but it's been on my want list, but it's not, like, something that I'm actually going for because the price is astronomical. I think it's, like, last time I looked was a couple of years ago. It was, like, $700-800 complete in box, and there's just a lot more things I'd rather have. Like, the cart's, like, $100 loose, dude. It's gnarly.
I think it's just Game Boy though. Like we talked about in previous episodes, cardboard box, handheld, shit's going to be stupid expensive. But I am thankful that I held on. Like I still have for the Spider-Man episode, like I still have my Spider-Man from a kid as a PlayStation, but I went out and bought a nicer copy now because I can appreciate it more. And I wanted a complete copy of that game for just pure nostalgia purposes.
oh yeah, I guess I suppose I'm looking for Spider-Man 2 because I thought it was Spider-Man 1, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
Now I think about that one. I mean, I've bought some things that are like childhood adjacent, but I never played them. Like I was really into Neopets
Yeah.
as a kid, so now I'm just like I want all the Neopets games, but I've never played them. Or like the VeggieTales game.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was another one as a kid. I really like VeggieTales, but like I never played the game, and I'm just like, cool, it's Larry the Cucumber.
It helps
That's
when
cool.
the pill's easier to swallow when it's like $3 to $5 too.
Yeah, it's like $3 to $5. So
Yeah.
I have never really like. I don't even think there's anything expensive that I have any desire to get. That's like, oh, it's adjacent to something I like. I'm like, oh, I don't really care that much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there was a point in our childhood too, Brian, where you were a little more into games and stuff than I was. Like,
Yeah.
actually, even like just going back and collecting retro crap, you're the one that kind of got me back into it because I still had like some older games, but I didn't have like the systems hooked up and shit, and like, so as far as influencing my collecting stuff, I go for now. I don't. It's weird because there's just a couple games here and there, but like, I got my own taste pretty quickly, and like we didn't grow up with the Sega Genesis, but that's like my preferred 16-bit console, and that was just kind of something I ended up independently growing and finding and going after myself. So I know we had the same origin story here, but like I think we definitely got our own taste to a lot of degree.
Yeah, I think, pretty early on too. I just remember like the game, like I think I probably was in the games a little bit more, and I definitely got back into it more. The girl I was dating at the time, she was really into the PS2, and like we didn't grow up with the PS2. We grew up with the original Xbox. She wanted all the games she played as a kid, and that's what kind of got me back into retro gaming. Because it was like, damn, I miss playing some of these. I still had a lot of their Xbox stuff specifically. I think the nostalgia aspect of particularly the retro stuff, because I've always stayed modern. Like 360 on up, pretty much I was grabbing what I wanted to grab in my, I guess, young adult life. But getting back into the retro stuff was definitely nostalgia oriented for me. And even to the point where I remember not trading stuff back in, just holding out and be like, next holiday, I'll get another game. So it is a little interesting to think that as far as collecting habits, specifically collecting and hoarding, I guess you can call it, started from the games back then. But even now, like going back, I have a lot of my stuff. So just trying to find games we rented, and again, remembering is the most difficult part for me. It just comes up in a spur of the moment conversation. Like Putt Puff's a great example, Gus, and then even bringing up Major Striker. I completely forgot about Major Striker until you brought it up. It is interesting. And then, yeah, and like bring up taste changing too. Like I don't play a lot of the stuff I played as a kid. I think sports games are a big one for me. Like, yeah, I dabble in the sports games a little bit, but clearly you're more into them than I am.
I played the hell out of sports games other than this year, but that's because sports games are at an all-time low right now. But yeah, we grew up playing them because our dad was into them, and I would say I still play sports games. I play baseball every year. I'm not playing Madden right now. I'm not playing 2K right now, but there's I guess racing games too. Like I'm not super huge into cars, but there's a lot like Forza. Like
my dad was really into racing. Well, I remember we had the Castrol. Now that I think about it, we had the Castrol motorcycle one, the supercar, the super motorcycle. I don't know, Superbike. That's what it was, because he was really into like motorcycle racing. And then we had a couple Need for Speeds, and like I played them, but I could not give a single doo about a racing game now. Yeah. I don't even think I own one. Do I?
Maybe some cart bullshit.
The only one that I would reasonably own is Burnout Revenge, and I don't even think I have that game. Other than like, you know, Chocobo Racing, that doesn't count. You know, I just don't care about racing games. Yeah, they're not fun to me.
That's kind of one. Like I have Test Drive 5 because that was like a big part of our childhood, and it was like groundbreaking when it came out on PlayStation. But other than Forza, I don't really play racing games. So that's one I could say like I was not influenced at all by, because like our dad bought like the wheel, and he's like doing drag racing, and he's hardcore into like simulation racing for a long time there. And
yeah, we were NASCAR. I lived literally across the street from the racetrack. Like, I'd look out my front window, and there it was. The racetrack. A racetrack. So, like, I mean, if you're a Midwesterner, you kind of know, like, NASCAR is a big thing for all of us Midwestern people. And I do not care about NASCAR. I don't. It's a bunch of rednecks who have an excuse to get drunk on a Sunday, and then just scream about going around a corner or whatever. My dad was really into number 2, Rusty Wallace, bro. Like,
Rusty guy.
That was his guy. And I think he worked at the track for a little bit. I don't know. And I don't care about racing games.
Right. It's a little off topic, but it's crazy for how much embedded racing is. Like, I don't give two shits about racing.
Bro,
unless it's crashing a nitro car.
Racing's in our blood. Yeah. Where you're born, racing.
Right. I'm interested, but I just can't get into it, if that makes sense. Like, I'm never gonna like shut. I have my wife's dad's like super into it, and he used to actually like work on cars. So it's like I'll listen to his stories and I'm interested, but I can't say like I'm gonna go get into racing now. I don't hate it, but I can't get into it.
I already think sports are boring as it is, but racing takes the cake. You're going to expect me to sit there and sit for hours and watch people go around a track like 500 times? No, I'm okay. That's the worst of it.
The joke always is you turn it on for the first 3 laps, turn it off, and turn it back on for the last 3 laps.
And that's why everybody's perpetually drunk the whole time, because that's the only way you can get through it. Like, and then you walk out of there with the nastiest sunburn you've ever seen. They got the disgusting NASCAR racing sunglasses on, and you know there's just red lobster forehead, and they got the cut off t-shirts with the Bud Light in the hand. I'm good, man. I lived it. I lived it. I'm out.
You lived it.
I did, dude. I was across the track. People used our yard as parking.
Yeah.
I think my mom worked there briefly too. I've been in the pit stop, bro. I've been there, done that. I'm out. Okay? My dad tried to get me into racing, and I was just not into it.
Brian, how about you get us?
He's got NASCAR trading cards. Sondale Earnhardt.
Brian, get us back on track.
Okay.
No, I'm trying.
I just keep going.
Oh, shit.
Race Hail, Praise Dale.
Yeah.
Or is it Praise Dale, Race Hail? Which
our grandma loved
cool.
Dale too.
Man,
she had all the memorabilia.
And they like locked herself out when that shit happened, bro.
Yeah, bro. All right, let's get back on track. Yeah, I think nostalgia is... so clearly nostalgia of particular mindset is not a big part for Barry.
It's an interesting, powerful tool. It can either make you really sentimental for something or really resent something. Like,
Well, it's true, honestly.
That's why, and that's now you know why I
There you
roll
go,
my eyes
Nate.
every time anybody talks about a racing game or NASCAR. I'm just like, oh my god, please,
start smelling the cigarettes again.
dude, smelling the cigarettes,
Feeling the sunburn.
hearing it, God, hearing all the people go by, drunk, parking on the lawn. Ain't got nowhere to play. Can't dig no holes. They're all parking.
It's tough.
I just dig, just as a kid, dig holes in the ground for rocks. They drove on my grass. Anyways,
So that's what got you in the JRPGs, huh?
digging holes.
Not being able to dig holes.
They don't got their shit
Not
over there.
being able to dig holes.
But yeah, honestly, I think that's
Fossil fighters, bro.
where I was going.
Damn it. We needed you.
Yeah, but I think formulating your own taste and collecting, I think that's kind of what sets out, I think all of us, for the most part, it's not stuff from our childhood. Like, I kind of touched on it earlier. I got back into collecting a little later than Brian, and I was looking for very different stuff. I almost went for, like, I never got to experience this. I want to go play it. I've heard it's good. Very quickly, like, I didn't grow up playing, like, I don't even know how to say, like, high fantasy games and stuff. I didn't really play a lot of them. Like, we didn't have that kind of shit. My dad didn't care about it. Like, Conan was, like, probably the closest we ever got to, like, anything with swords in it. So, but I very quickly, like, found a love for, like, dungeon crawlers and that style, like, old school RPGs and stuff, and, like, Dragon Age and stuff. I don't think anything from my childhood really influenced that. That's just kind of, like, stuff I found on my own and got a pretty big attachment to.
Yeah, I'd agree because that's all you. I'm the inverse. I'm very much into sci-fi, but then again, so was Dad. Like, he was big in the Star Trek original series, and
I like sci-fi, but if I'm playing an RPG, I prefer it to be in fantasy.
yeah, and I mean, it's the thing. I like fantasy, but I definitely have a leaning preference towards sci-fi, and it probably is because of our upbringing. But yeah, specifically games. Once you start getting your own taste, it's weird because in a lot of ways I haven't deviated so much. Like, we played a lot of shooters growing up. It was like the age of first-person shooters, and that's still my preferred game genre, I guess.
Yeah, I'll double down and agree with that.
But it's also, I feel like it's kind of a cop-out because I feel like it's the most common also. Like, shooters are a dime a dozen these days. And when we got introduced to them, they weren't until it turned out everything was a Doom clone. For the longest time there, it was groundbreaking. Especially for a console player, if you got a good console first-person shooter, like I remember Halo being like the first one that's like, this thing is actually competent. It was an experience back then, but now it's something that we all take for granted. I'll put it like this: I would rather play a like subpar, solid 6 first-person shooter over something I have no interest in playing, or just going for it for the achievements that I obviously do. But give me like an average shooter, I can just set my brain to neutral and just shoot shit. It's probably why I have so much time in Call of Duty, but I don't think my preferred games of playing other than the early childhood have changed so much. Collecting wise, sure, like I have money and a real job now. Like, of course, collecting wise.
Are you talking about first person shooters?
Yeah.
Okay.
Specifically first person.
I'm trying to sit here and think like if I have any. And I know I've got first person shooters, maybe a couple, but it's got to be.
It's never been like your jam, though, right?
I mean, it was interesting when you were talking about the original Xbox that like your ex had gotten, and you were like, "Oh, I want to get all these games." I remember like the only game I ever played on an Xbox as a kid was Halo, because my uncle was like really into Xbox. Like when Xbox Live launched, like he was one of the first ones to like get gamer tags and stuff. I'm just, you're so early in. His gamer tag is four letters. I'm not going to say what it was because it wasn't great, but so he had Halo, and it was interesting because he also was into anime, and anime wasn't really relevant over here, so he had to kind of rip it off of the internet somewhere to like get it. And he was the reason I really wanted Final Fantasy VIII, because he was like, watch this introduction, like opening sequence, and it was the sequence of like when everyone's going to like have you guys played Final Fantasy VIII?
Yeah.
No.
It's really early on. You've probably seen it where they're on the ships and they're like going through the water, and it's kind of like sunset, and like Squall's standing on this ship, and the ship's like beach, and they get off and do their little like battle thing up there. It's like their test. So that cinematic, he was like, this thing looks incredible. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta get this game. I don't know. But only a game I ever played on Xbox was Halo. And I don't own Halo. Because I'm just like, Okay, I had it on PC. I remember playing Halo on PC Online, and that was when you didn't need a gamer tag. You could just change your name to whatever in the game. So I just changed mine to a little girl, because anytime, like, when you killed somebody, it said killed. It wasn't like how it is now where it shows what weapon killed who. It just was like, player A was killed by player B. So anytime anybody died that I killed him, it was just like, Brian was killed by a little girl, and I was like, haha, I thought this is so funny. I don't know. But, like, now that I have an Xbox, like, I have no desire to buy Halo.
Yeah.
Even though that was really the only game I played on it, I have no desire to buy it. I'm buying all the other stuff that I never got to play.
Yeah, so like a algorithm of Nate buying stuff he didn't have the chance to play. It's interesting.
I mean, yeah, that's kind of how I got into Phantasy Star, like, really big. It was like, damn, this looks so cool, and there's no chance of, like, ever as a kid, and when it was, you know, any of them were new, I ever got a chance to play. Because, like, we grew up on Super Nintendo more than any, like, as far as 16-bit, our uncle had one. Mario Kart, like, the basics is wrestling. Like, obviously, I'm huge into wrestling still, but, like, all I really got was, like, I always want to, like, dig deeper with consoles and stuff specifically, because that's where, like, you know...
Wrestling. Well, SmackDown 2008.
We grew up. Yeah, that's
I played the crap out of it. I have no desire to buy it. I have none. But I just remember, like, hours and hours and hours in that game, loving it.
All three of us are at the age where we grew up in, like, the gold, like they said, the golden years of wrestling was in the 80s. No, it wasn't. It was in the 90s with The Rock and Stone Cold, and, like, that's what. So we all played wrestling games. Like, come on, like, in 64, I guess that's.
I want Sting and Rey Mysterio.
That's a good point, there, Brian. Like, I went out of my way to go buy those wrestling N64 games because we never had them. Like, our best friend had them growing up. But it's something I was like, I love wrestling now. And, like, those are the best wrestling games ever made. So I went on my way and bought all of those. Like, as soon as I got my N64, it was like Nibio versus WCW, No Mercy. Those are the very first purchases I got when I got my N64. So it was just stuff we dabbled in, like, but we didn't sit there and play all day. It was like, man, I really want to go back and play this Royal Owen mode because it kicks ass.
Yeah, a lot of it sounds like it's other hobbies and influences you have make you want to pick up stuff from consoles and necessarily you didn't play back then. It's interesting. Because for me, it was very much like I said, my experience haven't changed that much. And, like, the one thing I'd say to get into really quick, I feel like my taste have changed more as an adult than even, like, from a child, which is a weird way of saying it. But, like, this podcast, perfect example. Like, I haven't really ever dabbled into, like, JRPGs. And then, Barry's picks are a lot of times games I wouldn't necessarily play. And, like, I've been collecting for a long...
Oh, I haven't even gotten you to the deep ones yet.
Yeah. I'd say you're starting me out, and I appreciate it. But, like...
giving you an easy ride in.
Even then, like, as an adult, I never really got into them. And then, like, Chrono Trigger was just awesome and kind of opened the doors a little bit. And I've picked up some since then. But, like I said, I think let's just say, like, actively hardcore collecting, I don't know, 15, 16 years at this point. But I wasn't picking up RPG. God, I wish I was with those prices back then, but I wasn't picking them up. So, like, tastes change over time, even, like, through experience, I think also, not necessarily just age. I think everybody just kind of says, like, oh, obviously your thoughts and opinions and tastes are different from when you're a kid. But even as an adult, playing games and collecting has changed quite a bit from when I first started.
I think it's interesting because, like, I think this podcast has given me more an appreciation for some of the games that you've brought forward, but I still have no desire to buy them.
Right.
Like Die Hard, like, I think that game was very good, and I can see what it was doing and why it was very fun to play, but, like, I have zero desire to buy that game just because it doesn't fit, like, what my personal taste is.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I don't even think there's been one game that I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go buy this right now, that just, like, blew me away.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it.
Well, that's the thing, too. We've all been doing this for a long time. We're all not new collectors, so we kind of know what we want, what we're into. But, yeah, like you're saying, just like the cookie crumb of, like, hey, dip into something else that you want to do. Most people don't think adults do that. Like, you're set in your ways once you hit a certain age. But
I suppose maybe in the same realm, I have, like, little to no interest in beat 'em ups.
Yeah.
So I would be curious if we ever did a beat 'em up and I was like, this thing's awesome.
Need this shit.
I love beat 'em ups.
Because, like, every time I hear people talk about beat 'em ups, they're just like, this isn't made, like, it's kind of like fighting game people. Like, I can appreciate fighting games and I have a couple of them, but they're not like my Jimmy Jam. But, like, beat 'em ups, I feel like people have such a nostalgic lens for because they don't really come out now anymore. So, like, when that Turtles Cowabunga collection came out, people, like, lost their minds. And I'm like, it's a Turtles game. Okay. I don't know. Like, is it the beat 'em up thing? Is it Turtles? Because there's a lot of Turtle stuff out here. But what is it,
we'll go on a NASCAR about beat 'em ups really quick. I like beat 'em ups, but as a big beat 'em up fan, you're never gonna find one, Barry, because they're all the fucking same.
Okay, fair enough.
Like, I love Golden Axe is like literally my favorite series, and it plays pretty much just like Street of Rage. Like, ooh, blasphemy! No, like come at me, I don't care. They're all pretty much the same damn game with a different coat of paint.
There's only so much you can do.
I love beat 'em ups. I get lost in like the loop. It's kind of like for you in shooting games.
Yeah.
Set my brain into kick some ass, get ripped off. It's fine. It's great.
That's nice being a farming sim, bro.
Yeah.
Set my brain off and just grow my corn.
But you're not gonna have a beat 'em up that you
Get that Midwestern in me.
You might.
Grow my corn and
It's in
race
our
my
blood.
cars.
This is happening a lot this episode. It's happening a lot this episode.
That's funny.
What if there's a beat 'em up? You go beat up drunk NASCAR fans, Barry.
I would play it for funsies, but probably not buy it.
It's funny you
I
brought.
don't, you know what? Actually, if there was a beat 'em up game where the cover was you decking a bald, lobster-colored white man with the little sunglasses on, and it has a white cut-off tank top T-shirt with one of the NASCAR things on there, but it's got beer stains on it, and he's got jean shorts, decking him right in the face. He's probably got a pack of cigarettes somewhere. I would buy it. Because that's literally every NASCAR fan that we had to deal with.
Sounds like every NASCAR
Described
fan.
all of them. Goatee. No hair up top. I had a goatee. Like Nate.
I'm not in the NASCAR, full disclosure.
Circle back though. It's funny you brought up fighting games. That's another one. Like as a kid, played a ton of, and not that I don't have interest as an adult, but like trying to think of the last one I actually bought.
Fighting games?
Mm-hmm.
I'll enjoy them solo, and then I won't play with people because I can't handle getting my butt to
I think
handed
part of
to
it
me.
too is like I had a co-op partner or someone to constantly fight growing up. A twin, dude. Like, what else do you ask for when it comes to like couch co-op games or fighting games? But
Well, and then
I
maybe
don't have that anymore.
maybe on like Nate's talk of like I never really discovered high fantasy type. Like I don't really like fighting games because I always felt like they were the samey until Soul Calibur came along, and that was like the high fantasy type style that was cool. And I don't think I've really gotten into a fighting game since then, except for Guilty Gear.
I think it's a genre thing too. That genre's evolved so much. It used to be you could pick them up, beat each other up, and still be fairly competent. Now they're so technical. They're almost like flight sims where it's like, I don't know what I'm doing. This is too difficult. Like, I don't know if you guys have played the new Mortal Kombat at all.
No desire.
No,
I've seen
I
the
haven't.
videos.
I dabbled in a demo.
That
and
thing's broken.
I got air juggled for 2 minutes
Yep,
straight.
it's
Like, this
broke.
isn't fun. And
Absolutely broke.
I like Mortal Kombat. I grew up playing it. My sister's like, shit is Mortal Kombat. So like, I have a little bit of nostalgia attached to it. I have no interest in buying this damn game. Like,
No.
it's not even like a difficulty thing where it'll get good. It's like, no, like if you don't make this the only game you play, you're going to suck. And it takes the spirit and the fun of fighting games. You could just, hey man, can I kick your ass for 2 minutes? Yeah, dude. And like, I don't
Honestly,
know.
like the new Mortal Kombat is just who can land the hit first. Because I've seen videos of those people being in like professional tournaments, and these are really, really good players.
They're
And it just
pros.
happens to be one person got the punch in first for the full on juggle, and the other guy had no way to get out of it. Like the game is broken, absolute no fun in it. Anyways, I don't want to get a tangent on that because like the last Mortal Kombat game I really liked that had the only reason I got it is because it had Spawn, but it had the really cool like run around the dungeon kind of thing.
The
Yeah, we
crypt,
both- we
yeah.
both
Yeah,
played
I
it,
thought
yeah.
that was pretty cool. I'm not like super big into Mortal Kombat, but I have a sense of nostalgia for it because of old Ripple Diddle back in the
Yeah.
day of old Sub-Zero. But like I'm not like married to Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
And so for me to want to pick up a game, it's gotta like play fun, and this new one just I have no desire, regardless of nostalgia.
I'll stick to Injustice.
As a Mortal Kombat guy, I haven't picked up the new one yet.
Where's Soul Calibur?
Good question, Barry.
I know you guys ruined it with 6, but like bring
I
it
love-
back with 7.
And we grew up on Tekken. We love Tekken. But like, we're getting another Tekken already. We're not getting a Soul Calibur. Like, feels disrespectful, dog.
Yeah, for me though, not having you there to play with, it's not the same, bro.
I feel you.
Yeah,
It's. I think there's some genres you can look at too. Where I mean, first person shooters are fundamentally the same as they were. Like obviously there's cover systems now. They're obviously far more advanced. But like shoot the shit in front of you, dog. Like that's not really fighting. Is I feel like I've evolved too much to like from what we grew up on.
I know this is a little off topic because the topic is collecting habits, but like playing habits too. I think mine have changed a little bit because, like, perfect example, I still love Gears of War. Like, I've played a shitload of Gears of War 5 multiplayer. Have not started the campaign yet until he's free and we come over and knock it out together. Because that's how I've always played Gears of War. I've always played it co-op with Nate. So like I will not play that campaign until we set up a time. You have to spend the night or something. I don't know.
Sounds nice, us having friends play games.
Having a twin was cool sometimes.
I literally, like, until I met you guys, I literally did not play games with anybody.
And it's so like,
period.
That
I
does
believe
My
you.
entire life.
That sucks.
I mean, maybe that's why I'm so much more into like story-based games and like single player like RPGs, because I can experience. And that's why I really want games that have a party system, because it's like I had friends.
Bro,
So
that's
now,
fucked.
you know, that's when you guys tell me like I'm gonna get on. You never get on. I just go to bed crying, just to make you feel
I'll
guilty.
never do that to you again.
But yeah,
God.
I literally like never played multiplayer games. I feel like when I met you initially, I was like, yeah, I don't feel play multiplayer games. And maybe you got me to play something, or I literally just didn't have friends that played games, period. So majority of like what I've always ever played was single player. I mean, I remember having a friend and she would come over and play Soul Calibur with me a couple times, but we were really into the Star Wars Battlefront on PS2.
Yeah.
Because she was a big Star Wars fan too. So we would play those, and like those are really, really good games. Very good games.
Pour one out.
Wish they would make a third one just styled just like those ones, but they
Like
never
a real
will.
Battlefront, yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I mean, I suppose like she was the only one that would come over and play games with me, but like it was, you know, difficult to maintain when your best friend moved to another city, like when you're in middle school or whatever.
Yeah.
So I just like never had friends who played games.
Yeah, that's
Period.
crazy. Growing up, where we initially grew up, like we had the greatest setup a kid could ask for. So we had like the original Xbox. Dude next door had a PS2, and then they had I want to say a Dreamcast and an N64, and we always had like a rotation where all of us had like on our left and right, and maybe one more over. Like we had every console, so we could constantly kind of play everything. So, and then if they weren't available, I had my twin to play with. So like we very opposite gaming. I always had someone to play with. Like didn't even necessarily need online for a long time because, you know, until we grew up and moved out, like had Brian to play with even through high school.
I guess I just lived in a poopy neighborhood because the neighborhood kids, like we were into Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, and I remember one of them took my Ancient Mew card and folded it,
Remember that story? Yeah.
and like, so I just didn't fuck
Hope
with
you're
people.
listening, asshole.
Yeah, I just didn't mess with people. I think I still have that card. Maybe I think it's buried somewhere. I don't know, but it's folded up in like 6th or 8th or something. Just fucked that card up. But
Fucking NASCAR fans.
his name was Dusty. I think his name was Dusty.
He probably likes NASCAR.
Sounds like a NASCAR
It does,
kid game.
doesn't it?
Yeah, Dusty.
God.
So yeah, and then like I guess the only other person was like my brother. But when he discovered PC gaming, he was not interested in consoles. He was all about that RuneScape on the library for 30-minute sessions. And then came home and played RuneScape, and he was the one that, like, when we have an allowance, I would save to, like, buy games, and then he would use his allowance for the RuneScape membership. So it's pretty telling now that he's the PC gamer and, like, I'm the console collector. Because I asked him the other day, I was like, hey, do you have any, like, old games left over? Because there was one point in time where, like, when I moved, I, like, swiped all of the games. I was like, Gale Darkness is coming with me. That's basically, where's all my GameCube games? That's basically, like, how I got them all. Actually, I don't even know. Where are they?
Right there next to Tails.
Oh, never mind. Okay. I lied, so it was just Gale of Darkness. Gale of Darkness I know was his. Oh, I did acquire all of his Pokemon cartridge games.
Sick.
His advanced, because even like I didn't have friends, so I couldn't trade Pokemon, so like I had to rely on using my brother's Game Boy and like playing his game and then playing my game and then hooking them up so I could trade to myself. Because I just didn't have friends,
That's
bro.
crazy. Dude, just in our little street, we had like
Nope.
4 or 5 people we could trade Pokemon with. And if you like took it to school, they had people like
We grew up very differently. Even like when we're playing like shooters, like I don't like playing couch co-op shooters with somebody else. Like I just want to play it by myself. It's not as fun to me. But I'm just like used to playing games by myself.
Yeah.
So multiplayer online makes more sense because I can still play it with somebody but like have my own
screen.
Yeah.
thing going on. But yeah, I just didn't.
I think
I
there's
don't have that. And like back to what you were saying, that probably is why it's influenced
Yeah,
like what I buy so much,
definitely.
because like I need something with a solo experience, and if I don't get that, I just don't usually enjoy it.
That makes a ton of sense.
And it's funny because like I'm looking at some of my like favorite gaming memories, and it's like, yeah, they're with Brian. Like there's some games I probably want to have as big as an attachment to. Like Gunstar Heroes comes to mind. Like
Yeah.
we didn't play that when it was new. We played it on Xbox 360 initially, but we were kind of like, let's knock these achievements out. And we were kind of like, this game's amazing. Let's just play Gunstar Heroes for 5 hours straight. And
I remember cracking the fuck up.
Just laughing our asses off
like,
how dumb it was, and like not
Mhm.
expecting anything out of it, and finding like I wouldn't say a hidden gem.
And especially at that age too, where it's just like young, kind of like on your own for the first time, just like copious amounts of alcohol and Gunstar Heroes. Like it's a special nostalgia spot where, dude, we even had this set up to where like we were working different hours, right? Working nights damn near.
You were working like late nights, and that's like right when we had a point where when Xbox One came out where it was basically on 24/7 because we had like a rotating schedule where I worked hours, you didn't. So like one of us was always at the apartment, but like just pass you the controller, I'm walking out, bro. Like so like we were achievement mad dogs for the first like couple of years of Xbox One, dude.
Yeah, it was sick. I just remember like Connect Michael Phelps was the one where I was like, oh, I have a problem. I remember game flying Michael Phelps swimming for Connect, and Nate walking at me just breaststroking my life away. Just kind of seeing me like, what
Good
the
Lord.
fuck? Was like, yeah. But no, it's true. I have so many gaming memories just because Nate's involved. Like smiling and thinking about that stuff wouldn't be nearly as funny if it was by myself. So it's interesting how that's kind of influenced my gaming habits now. Collecting and playing, honestly, because I know this episode topic was collecting, but playing too. It's kind of full circle in a weird way. All thanks to Putt Putt.
Guess our arcade experiences.
Nope, pass. It's none.
Not,
Dave and Buster's,
See,
Chuck E. Cheese once.
that's what I'm talking about. Oh, once, damn.
No, dude, I didn't go to arcade. I didn't have friends. Like, how am I going to go to arcade and like play by myself?
It's different, man.
I didn't have friends to go to parties for. I don't know if you guys understand how much I did not have friends. My friends were books.
How about we do you have like any of these random weird off the cuff like deep cut game that you think you played as a child that maybe not a lot of other people did?
Rygar.
Okay, so
You
let's
guys
just
know Rygar?
let's just
PS2
do
or
like
NES.
PS2.
yeah. I remember I bought it because you were telling me about
It's
it.
awesome. It was a good game.
Let's pick one deep cut game from our childhood that you don't think the mass is familiar with and just kind of highlight it.
That's all I had to say about that game.
Oh, come on.
I literally don't remember it. It's called Rygar.
Damn it, Barry, you got Google it.
I can fill you in a little bit.
It's over there somewhere. I bought it.
It's a remake of an NES game.
Is it?
Yeah.
Wait, do I not have Rygar? I know I have fucking
No,
Rygar.
you
one
do,
with,
'cause I bought it after you
the
told me about
shield's
it.
almost like a mace, right? Where it's got like a chain attached to it. And you
I
can,
don't see it over there.
PS2?
No, do I not have Rygar?
I bought it because you told me about it, Barry.
I don't have Rygar.
Add it to the list, bro.
Maybe it's I thought I had it for a long time. That's why I've not really bought it. Fuck. Okay.
Damn.
I mean, I guess my other one would be Shadow of the Colossus, but like that's not really not popular. I just remember when it came out, that was the game.
That's like the perfect game for a single player. All right, let's do this. Close out this episode. Give me a couple of deep cut games that you don't think the masses, the quote masses, have played.
Got a horrible memory.
I know it's my problem too. I've been hitting the head a lot. But
So have I, but damn, guys.
what?
So have I, but damn.
I mean, I think it is a little easier for Nate and I because like Shareware Wild West PC was insane back then.
Yeah.
But Barry, for like a console game,
games.
Yeah, it would have been tougher, no doubt. It's
What's one good console game for you, Barry? Where it's like a deep cut you played as a kid that the masses maybe didn't.
Rygar.
Yeah.
I don't know anything other than it's a guy with a shield and it's set in Greece, and I thought the game was really fun. I think was it styled like a God of War camera,
yeah, I'm pretty sure it's like over your back. And,
where it was a static camera and you
So-
couldn't really like
yeah,
move the camera
I haven't
around.
played it, but I know of it because like I know the NES Rygar, and like I knew that they like kind of remade it for PS2, and it's
I thought it was really good.
I've been hunting for it because I've heard it's kind of like I don't want to say hidden gem for the love of God.
If you're
but,
ever
like,
looking for it, it's a blue spine with gold letters.
I've heard it's like a deep cut where it's like surprisingly good game where it plays like a little better than the other like third person beat 'em ups back then. So like
That's one when
Good.
we first started hanging out. You were like, yeah, I played this Rygar game as a kid, and it was like on the shelf, and I was like, I'm buying this just because
It's good.
that's a big thing for me. Like collecting this shit is like total nostalgia, so it'd be kind of fun to like dive into my close friends' memories. Obviously, you Nate, it's pretty fucking easy, but but it's interesting. It's people that have an emotional attachment to the game and playing it, and just like hearing them talk about it, it gets me going. Right in the feels.
really stupid computer game that like you and our sisters, all four of us played, and it's
What?
like we talk about it when we get drunk often. It's called Dinosaur Safari.
God, yes.
So we're throwing out a dinosaur game for the podcast because obviously we love dinosaurs here. But like the plot is this alien dude, it's a reptilian man approaches you and he's like, you need to power these crystals for this time machine I'm about to give you. And you're like, well, how do I do that? And he's like, photograph and record dinosaurs. So it's really weird. He gives you like a friggin' camera and a time machine. It's like, okay, one super advanced piece of technology and one extremely outdated, but whatever. So you have to travel to the correct time period in the correct biome to capture the dinosaur needed to power that crystal. And back then, I was a 6-year-old. Actually, we were hanging out with our sister recently talking about it, like, how awesome it was, and we were drunk. Pulled up a YouTube video of it, and it's like, this looks like ass. Like, this is probably horrible. It's like FMV, but CGI. So, like, when you find the correct dinosaur, it triggers like almost like an FMV cutscene of like super fuzzy pixelated, but it's also not a real dinosaur, obviously. So it's like computer generated, and it's like got these fake ass. It's got a dude making dinosaur noise, like horrible, dude. And you had to capture it and get out of town before it attacked you to like power that crystal. But that's one that I doubt a whole lot of people played.
No. I remember
Came out in 96, and like, 6-year-old Nate thought it was the dopest thing ever.
dude, yeah, we loved dinosaurs as a kid. All of us did. And that's one I actually ended up tracking down. I still have our childhood copy, and it doesn't have a sleeve. And it's not even a book. It's literally just a sleeve that goes in a jewel case. But I went on eBay, and they had a couple of them. They're like $15 or $20, and I found one. I was like, I'm pulling the trigger on this. This is what I need.
I know I have this one, and we've said it before very, very, very early in this podcast, but Kaya the Dark Lineage.
Yeah.
I remember you talking about it.
I
Yeah.
like
Still a great game.
Yeah.
I remember playing, maybe not deep cuts, but like I remember like renting when renting was still a thing. Not so much like from like Hollywood Video or whatever, but I my brain can go far as back as like GameFly. So I remember getting, I think it's called Kingdom Under Fire, Circle of
On Xbox?
Doom?
Yeah.
Is that what it's called? Circle of Doom?
I think so.
I remember renting that one and immediately returning it because the text was so small I couldn't read it because I played it on a little 27-inch TV. So I bought it now so I can play it again to see like if it's actually a good game. But I vividly remember borrowing that one because I thought the cover looked really cool and I just couldn't play it
I like
because it was impossible to like read. And then another one, I gameflied LA Noire, and that game was amazing. I really liked it. I need to grab a copy of that one because I just don't have it.
Oh.
Do you want my Switch copy? Why?
Why?
Because I think we talked about it once in the episodes. Like, why do I have this fucking game? And it was like $5 on Black Friday or $12 or something. And I was like, okay,
I do want to get it at some point. I just need to see like what platform it's better on.
not Switch.
So then I don't want that one. There was one more game that I was thinking
We
about.
all have a
GameFly.
random LA Noir story. I have a random LA Noir
I've got-
story.
I had no idea what I was getting into, but I,
don't want to go
loved
to LA
that
Noire.
game.
I love the game, but God, I've got some
So-
bad meat attached to it.
Chick I was dating at the time, like, was caught up in Quibids really bad. It had like a bunch of credits for his like penny auction website when
What
they
is
were.
Quibbage?
It's like a penny auction website when they were like brand new.
Okay.
Quibids. It's a Quibid.
It's like quick
You
bits.
basically bought X amount of pennies. You do.
Quibbid?
Yes.
I thought you were saying Quibbage.
Quibid. QBID. Anyway, I don't even know if
Okay.
it's around anymore, but it's like penny auctions. They're like brand new. So this is like, I was with my girlfriend at the time. Like I had 3 jobs at the time, so I had like a little gap where like 2-hour gap where it was like I would wake, but it was in the middle of the night. So I go in there and try to snipe shit for a couple pennies. I got LA Noir for 2 cents the
Okay.
day after it came out.
Nice.
I've never opened it. I think I still have it.
Oh my god.
That's my random LA Noir story for the episode.
I know there was another GameFly one. Risen, maybe. I know I get a lot of like RPG GameFly games. That there was a couple I ended up being like, wow, these are really good. And then I ended up buying them some point later. They were mostly crappy games that ended up being really good. Not saying LA Noire was a crappy game. That one was just surprising.
It's funny going back and thinking about games we rented. As far as collecting now, if I'm out and about and I see like a cheap original Xbox game with like a Hollywood video case, I pick it up, man. Like I've got a ton of original Xbox stuff, so I'm at the point where I'm literally just like scrounging for anything I don't have that's original Xbox. Like I picked up a Lord of the Rings Return of the King like display copy for, someone threw a game in it. I'm sure the display box didn't have a game in it. Like EA's not going to ship a game to display. It's cool. You still find them at game stores sometimes, like Blockbuster cases or Hollywood video cases. They're relics now. I mean, nobody does that. Even GameFly, it's still around, but it's still an envelope. It's
I
funny.
GameFlyed a lot of PSP games too.
Yeah. It's like we were
I don't know how they survived the mail.
No kidding.
No
Yeah,
shit.
because they only shipped the disc or the UMD.
Yeah.
So I don't know how they survived.
I don't know how any of that shit survived, like looking back on.
I do remember doing that.
The slick thing about GameFly, though, is if you buy a new game from them, it's always pristine because they just throw it in a crate or something or throw it on a shelf. The cases and manuals will always 10 out of 10 condition. But yeah, it's funny when you go to a game store and it's like, oh, Hollywood video case. Do I have this one? I pick them up. I know I'm the worst of us when it comes to hoarding, but
You're sick.
yeah.
I won't pick up a Hollywood video.
Never in my fucking life.
99% of the time they don't have a manual.
No, they don't.
Nope.
The box art's not complete.
Box art's not correct.
I would do it on,
Don't get me wrong. I'm not
very
replacing that.
very specific games. I might, if there's a Dragon Age one, I might pick it up, or
No.
a Doom or something. Maybe. I'm at a maybe if it was cheap.
I have picked up. Oh, when I bought Otogi, I picked it up and it had the old Game Crazy sticker on the top
Nice.
with the green and the orange, and I said, "Oh, nostalgia!" And then I ripped that bitch off. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a EB Games pre-order display copy of Dragon Age, with the ones they stick on the wall before the game's out, with the screenshots on the back. But
Mhm.
Dragon Age is literally top 3 favorite franchise, so I bought that one. It was $1.99, and no regrets. But I don't think I could actively hunt for them. Sorry, Brian.
No, it's fine. I get
You're
it.
alone on that
I
island.
understand how sick I am. I get it.
There's exceptions to every rule, but in general, I don't think I could do that. I got precious space as it is, and I've already got 5 copies of Halo 2. I don't need a 6th.
Nope. So, in conclusion, it's fun to look back and see what kind of influence we've had from literally our earliest childhood experiences for gaming. Thank you for listening. I hope you all enjoyed that deep dive into our early childhood psyche/trauma of not having a place to dig a hole, NASCAR fans. Hope you all enjoyed that.
I didn't know that's where it was going, but that's where it did.
Waking a lot of repressed rage towards NASCAR
I
fans.
hate NASCAR.
What's next in the tank?
Persona 8.
The NASCAR fuel-injected racing tank.
Yeah, next in the tank is Shin Megami Tensei Persona for the PlayStation Portable.
Ooh.
I believe this is our first PSP game.
Wow.
Yeah, we haven't done one yet.
So, really quick, technically it's the Shin Meg game, or is this is the first Persona
Shin
game,
Megami
right?
Tensei Persona.
So, it's kind of both.
No, so this isn't Shin Megami Tensei. This is Shin Megami Tensei : Persona.
So it's a Shin
Persona
Meg.
Shin
one
Megami
part.
Tensei we never got.
Right.
So this is the first Persona game.
I'm just asking because I've never played a Persona game, so this is gonna be my first Persona game.
This will be the same one as the PlayStation 1, but it's completely remade for PSP.
Interesting.
Still first-person dungeon crawler, Phantasy Star style.
I've only played Shin Meg.
You didn't know that, Nate?
No.
Yeah, it's gonna be nothing like anything
You
you've
ever
seen.
played a Shin Meg game?
Yeah, I played Shin Meg or Persona?
Shin Meg.
No, I played Persona games. Very,
See, we're
very, very.
opposite.
I
I'm
don't
excited.
know, but-
First Persona game.
Shin Megami Tensei Persona, known as Persona in Japan, is the enhanced port of the first title in the Persona series. So it's Persona Revelations. That was dropped, and they tagged the Shin Megami Tensei back on it.
Sweet.
It's a whole updated new thing, which it does have some of the first-person traversal, but it's not all first-person.
Sure.
It's a lot more isometric, like flat, square floor, and you exist in that room, and it doesn't really have too many walls or whatever. I think it'll be fine. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
For PSP, PlayStation Portable.
Bet. Check it out. Collecti-Bros. Out.
See ya. Nyam.